Okay, what's up everyone? Welcome back to yet another video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be playing a bit more Legacy, and the deck of choice is going to be 8cast. Maybe that deck name is kind of outdated, but we'll get to that later. So what is 8cast? 8cast is an Ancient Tomb deck that is looking to power out threats ahead of schedule and utilizing kind of the synergy effect between a bunch of cards. And the main theme here is artifacts. So first of all, we have a blue artifact land, which is on surface just an island with a drawback, right? Can be wastelanded, dies to meltdown, etc. But Seed of the Synod is helping a lot of cards in the deck. It's helping Urza Saga constructs be bigger. It's helping Kappa Cannoneer getting cast. It's helping Thought Monitor getting cast. It's helping Emery getting cast. Thoughtcast is the same. We have a bunch of stuff here that on its own doesn't look very impressive, but as a unit is very impressive. So we also have 4 Lotus Petal as acceleration. The mana base is kind of strange here, so I totally understand getting the Otawara in here, like a free roll spell land. And the same is said for Seagated Restoration, like Pitches to Force of Will is an island in a pinch, well, Blue Mana Source, I guess. Then we have the very, very questionable package of 1 Lauren Revealed, which can go get an island, or Pitch to Force, or get cast in the late game, with 1 island. So let's say I draw the island, then I draw Lauren Revealed. At that stage, it's not a mana source anymore. So I kind of hope to dodge that specific scenario, but yeah, let's see. Urza Saga is just a powerhouse, has to get answered in a lot of matchups, and if it doesn't, I have 2 huge bodies and a little bit of toolbox to work with. I've chosen to go for Ether Spellbomb, mainly good against like Marriage, Murktide Regent, stuff like that. Pithing Needle can come in handy in various scenarios. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And Shadow Spear in creature races. So yeah, that's kind of my package. And if I don't need any of those, I can just go get like a Bobbler for the cantrip effect or Mox for mana. This deck plays Chalice of the Void, mainly looking to lock out 1-drops. It only has 3 copies. I imagine it's kind of a hedge against, other Ancient Tomb decks popping up. And when you draw the second one and already have one in play, it's not really the best. For aggro, we have a cool little package of 4 Patchwork Automaton. This card is just like, it's good early on, kind of hard to kill. The damage stacks up, decent card. And then the 5th aggro card is Sir Ginger, a 3/1 that grows unless your opponent kills it. So yeah, it's just pretty small cost to have an efficiently costed beater. Let's see if we can value some people out with Emery. And then, of course, we have Force of Will to not just roll over and die whenever we're under draw against a combo deck. The sideboard has a bit more Urza Saga flexibility here. We have Graveyard Hate from Lantern. We have Graveyard Hate / Natural Order, Green Sun Zenith, stuff like that. Hate from Grafdigger's Cage. And we have Haywire Might for like mirror-ish matchups. We have to note that only Mox Opal and Petal are the green sources in the deck. Then we have a bunch of counters, especially like against unfair stuff, like, what do I know, Show and Tell, Storm Strategies, stuff like that. 3 negations, 3 flusters, a couple of Hydroblasts. I'm sure this card will also come in against Delver, though I'm not really sure because Chalice of the Void is great in that matchup, but I guess we'll see about that. With the uptick of Red Stompy, this card makes a lot of sense. And then we have Quad Dismember for stuff like Collector Oof or other like fast creatures that will disrupt us. The main enemy of this deck, I would guess, is going to be Meltdown. So whenever the opponent resolves a Meltdown, I just imagine I'm behind. So we'll be looking to try and dodge Meltdown all day and hopefully win some matches. Okay, that'll do it for the deck tech. See you guys for round 1. All right, round 1 is upon us. We won the die roll, playing against Negator 87. I remember back in the days, Negator used to love, what's that deck called? Like Turbo Depths, stuff like that. I immediately see Otawara in my opening hand, and I want to keep. So let's do that. So I have a pretty awesome hand here. I can go Patchwork Automaton, then play double 0-drop, and then I have turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer, I think. That is pretty sweet. Let's see how much damage that card can do. Patchwork versus Bauble. which I'm not going to sacrifice, by the way. Mox Opal. That's the turn. Opponents on the mulligan to 6. Let's see what they can do. So I have to do a little bit of math for next turn. I go T to the Synod. Then I have to tap everything to play Kappa Cannoneer. That seems cool. Shuko. Okay, so my opponent's on breakfast. That means I'm dead if they just go land and the blue combo piece, which is super scary. Wow. Now I can go Chalice of the Void for 2. Yeah, I'm definitely... I think that's what I'm supposed to do here instead of just straight up dying. So Chalice of the Void for 2. Automaton grows to a 4/4. Wow, that was a very good draw. I'm trying to think here. How does my opponent... I guess it has to do with Teferi. Opponent plays Ponder. The cantrips are up for grabs here. So my opponent needs to develop the combo and get rid of the Chalice before getting aggroed. Wow, Pithing Needle. This is this is definitely some pretty awesome draws I've had here. So let's go Needle. I'm gonna name Shuko, I'm pretty sure. Okay. My opponent Force of Wills the Needle. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I tap out, I play Cannoneer. Then I have Otawara for next turn. The problem is if I'm dead before. I'm relatively sure my opponent is going to go... Their way to win this game is Teferi, I think. Because they need to be able to resolve a 2-drop. So I'm trying to slam the door as early as possible. The thing is, if I play this land, I have lethal next turn. Let's see. But if I don't play the land, I have it as disruption, right? So let's see. I play that land. I can play Kappa Cannoneer. I can attack for 6. I have lethal next turn. Huh. Yeah, maybe that's just better. I have lethal next turn. Super tough, actually. Cannoneer, attack for 6. Let's see if I'm missing anything about this Ursa Saga, what it can go get. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to help you, the opponent. Yeah, I think their plan here was just buy time with Teferi, kind of bounce the Chalice and counter it on the way back, but that's super complicated, obviously. So let's see. Against this deck, I like my Graveyard Hate because if I have Graveyard Hate in play, I can't lose to the combo. And then I think I should be pretty favored against, like, let's say, Saga versus Saga situation. I do have to think a little bit about, what's that card called? Caldra Complete. Caldra Complete can be complicated for sure. So let's see. If I want to bring in, what did I bring in? The Cage and the Lantern, and I still want the bounce. I wonder what I can actually cut from this deck. Maybe Kappa Cannoneer isn't that great. Maybe I just really saw the absolute best scenario for that card right there. Dismember should also be kind of awesome. Yeah, this could get kind of wacky, like how I sideboard. So maybe the aggro plan isn't the best. It's kind of... It's Disruption. That's the name of the game, I would say. So maybe what if I cut all aggro and go... I want the Haywire Might. Maybe do I want just one Automaton? Kind of random, but... Maybe one Kappa Cannoneer is better. Can I fit the second one? Do I want to draw a couple of dismembers against that deck? I guess I do. Since my mana is not getting contested, maybe, just maybe, I can bring in... I can keep 2 Cannoneers and cut a mana source. I'll try that. I'll keep the Chalices, because Chalice for 1 is still powerful against, like, Plows and cantrips. Kind of tough. I think sideboarding here is kind of hard. Okay, I'm on the draw here. Opponent took a mulligan. I have 0 mana sources, so pretty easy mulligan. This is a easy keep, but yeah, not the best, of course. So let's see. If I go Mox, Petal, Petal, I can turn 1 Emery, which is awesome without sacrificing anything. That's cool. So maybe my plan is... Dismember is also pretty good against that deck. Force of Will as well, but I'm kind of low on... Maybe I just pitch the Thought Monitor and then hope to draw another blue card. I actually like that. So get rid of Thought Monitor. And then try and draw another blue card to go with the Force, while I still have the 1 mana removal. I draw Bauble, which makes Emery pretty sweet. Also, Emery can just die to, like, Swords to Plowshares, and that's all, you know, there is to it. I think I'm supposed to crack... Okay, so Emery gets plowed, unfortunately. In that case, I'm gonna look at a card from my opponent's hand here. Daze is revealed. That's good to know about. Okay, I mean, my hand was kind of all in on Emery. Let's see if we can recover. Opponent has Daze, 3 unknowns, passes. Okay. Ancient Tomb could be pretty sweet. Yeah, Ursa Saga, nice draw. So Ursa Saga is awesome because it allows me to, you know, not do anything and still potentially win the game, right? Nomad on core hits the field. Can I ask for a blue card here? Is that too much? Don't get the blue card. Okay. Let's see. Can I do anything smart? I can tap Opal for mana, dismember the Encore. I actually like that. That works. Maybe I was supposed to... Yeah, I was supposed to play that Mox. Because if I float mana, play the Mox, then dismember, then I can hardcast Daze around Force of Will. Or hardcast Force of Will around the Daze. So things work out here, but I don't think it was a very good play. Ooh, True Name Nemesis. And now I'm gonna check my sideboard. I think I cut my yeah, I cut my Shadow Spear. So that's cool, like, context knowledge from the opponent, I would say. I can crack a Petal or take 2 damage. Not my ideal choice, I would say. So what do we go and get here? Maybe just, like, Bobble to draw a card? I kind of need to keep things moving here. Force of Will. Okay. And attack. I think I lose if my opponent has the second True Name. Okay, my opponent does not have the second True Name. They do have some counters. Let's try and cast Thoughtcast and see what happens. My opponent Force of Wills, pitching the Daze. I think that's correct. So with Daze gone, I think I'm supposed to hold up Hardcast Force of Will. Let's attack for 6. I'm winning this race pretty handily. Let's see what my opponent does here. Petty Theft. Yeah, I'm willing to. Ugh. Yeah, not ideal, but I'm willing to counter here. My opponent has one card left. So they take 4 damage. I don't have a lot left here, but I had to do that. So I can basically only win this game if my opponent... kind of only draws combo pieces from here on out. Now I can't attack because of the Shuko. Nice play by the opponent. But I need to draw one artifact and I can keep attacking. It's interesting because the true name is a straight up dead card if I it's a straight up dead card if I just go... I mean, I had the spear in the deck. So maybe I'm just going to adjust that for game 3. Umesawa's Ite. That is an annoying card. 0 mana artifact, and we can keep attacking. That is decent. So here I think I have to dismember. My opponent double blocks. No double block. Okay. My opponent's at 9. So I need my opponent to not draw the land here. If they draw the land, I think the Jit will get me. Wow, another true name. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Okay. So for sideboarding now, it's very possible the opponent just goes, yeah, I'm not gonna have my true name in now, so you're wasting your Shadow Spear here, but I think that's okay. It's like it's one card. It's some flexibility with Saga, so it's okay. Let's see, what am I cutting here? I still like the chalices. Maybe I'm not supposed to have double graveyard hate. Maybe one is fine. I don't know about that logic. Yeah, I'll try this. Huh, true name Nemesis. That really caught me off guard. What do we have here? Triple Opal? Yeah, that's not gonna work. I needed some combination of other small dudes for that hand to be good. Okay. This hand is definitely keep. Question is what I'm hitching for. I feel like I'm supposed to bottom the Seagate Restoration. Then I go turn 1. So I would use my mana efficiently if I go turn 1 Needle out of the Saga, but the problem is I don't really know what I'm supposed to Needle. Let's say my opponent goes turn 1 White Combo Piece. Then I have to name that. Let's say they go turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, go get Culture Complete. Then maybe I have to name Stoneforge. So I don't really know what to name yet. Also, if they go Shuko, I have to name that, which is annoying. So right now I'm slow rolling, hanging on to the needle, but that could end up like costing me a pedal next turn, which is annoying. My opponent goes land pass, I'm in way better shape. Okay. So now I even have the mana to... Yeah, I can do a lot of things here. This is kind of cool. I hold up Dismember, I have the needle, I have the Spell Bomb. I need the Spell Bomb and play next turn, I think. Let's see what this is. Stoneforge Mystic it is. Let's see what they go get. Culture Complete, okay. So, I make a creature. Culture Complete is super annoying. I make another creature. I go search. Kind of annoying I have the needle in hand. I'm leaning a Mox Opal here. Let's take a Mox. Then I play a land. I have good options here. So I think if I go Needle, name Stoneforge Mystic, that's going to be super annoying for the opponent. I'm also going to play out the Spell Bomb, because now I'm kind of insulated. So I guess if my opponent goes something like Teferi... Yeah, Teferi would be annoying. Okay, Prismatic Ending on one of my tokens resolves. That's also annoying, don't get me wrong. Shuko, that's fine. Stoneforge is equipped. No attack. So I guess my opponent is in the market for blocking. There is a chance that because I have Spellbomb out, I'm supposed to dismember the Stoneforge here to get in for damage. I actually think that's the case. If the opponent had more removal, they would have done that instead of the Shuko. So I'm not really worried about the Stoneforge, but I am worried about winning on time, right? So I have the Spellbomb in play, which means I'm not lose. Well, I don't think. I guess I can lose if my opponent has 4 lands, double white no. Yeah, I think yeah, I can still lose this game. But it's like a way to try and win, right? Okay, so Teferi is annoying because it gets rid of the construct. Now I'm supposed to bobble here. I don't know why I bobble myself. That's kind of silly. I'm going to hang on to the Spell Bomb. I think that's useful. Thoughtcast is going to be a great draw. Thoughtcast and one more card. So let's draw 2. Or get Force of Will, I guess. Let's see what the opponent's working with. They draw Ursa Saga. Okay, that's actually gonna be super hard to beat. Yeah, the opponent did a good job here. I feel like I did what I could to kind of close out the game. But they did a good job of, staving off elimination. Ursa Saga hits the field, and now the table has kind of turned because now my opponent doesn't have to do anything. Alice of the Void, a bit late, I would say. Look at my opponent's hand. There's a Brainstorm. I guess I just forced them to do that. Alice for 1. I wonder if I was supposed to play differently this game. What happened here? I got an Ursa Saga going. I did what I could. I needled the Stoneforge, even though I already had a Dismember. But at the time, the Dismember was more valuable because it could break up the combo on my opponent's turn, and I didn't have to guess between Shuko and Nomad. So I think I liked that. Then I kept my Spellbomb around for like insurance. You can argue I wasn't supposed to do that, and at some point I was supposed to keep digging for threats. It's tough to say, right? If I cycle that Spellbomb and I just get comboed out, that's kind of tough. Okay, so the opponent will start making reasonably sized blockers here. I draw Ursa Saga. Perfect. So let's lead on the Chalice here. Then Ursa Saga. So the thing about Ursa Saga here is my opponent is making like small constructs, right? Which is acceptable. And once I get to make constructs, They're just way bigger. But let's see. They might have like some awesome sideboard tech I didn't consider. Okay, second shoe code is. Now the opponent can attack for 6. And now we're back to the same conundrum here. If I bounce, I'm open to the combo. But I have a chalice. Oh, they need to just resolve the 2-drop. Never mind. Yeah, very tough spot here. Is this true name? Oh, they're playing into the chalice here. Okay. Okay. Another Teferi. Probably going to bounce my Ursa Saga, unfortunately. So, yeah, triple Teferi is going to be tough to beat. Now I might have to... So bad. Yeah, I'll just take a draw here, see what happens. I draw Cannoneer. That is a big, big, big boy. So my opponent's at 2 life. So now what my opponent is looking to do is force me to use my spell bomb and then hopefully combo. Ugh, tough spot. So let's see here. Ursa Saga. My opponent knew about that. Cannoneer. Kind of have to hold up blue here, right? Cannoneer enters. The cool thing here is Cannoneer is 1 bigger than this construct. So if I play out 1 more artifact, my opponent will need 2 artifacts to have lethal. Let's say they have 1 artifact. What if they equip 1 on each? Yeah, I need this card in play. Because now my Cannoneer is a 6/6, meaning I can either eat 1 of them on combat, or... Yeah, that just means I can eat 1 of them on combat and not die, unless my opponent has 2 artifacts. Is that right? Yeah. And that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to have 2 artifacts, that's for sure. I don't even know if the spell bomb helps anything right now if I get comboed. My opponent plays... Yeah, it doesn't help. Huh, I didn't think about that for some reason. Yeah, does this spell bomb even help me here? What if I'm on 2 life? Then what kind of bad things can happen? I don't know. I'll try and go to 2 life here. What is this? 5 mana? Petty Theft. So my opponent is, for some reason, bouncing the Cannoneer now? Maybe I'm supposed to bounce here. Seems like the spell bomb is not doing a whole lot. Okay. Kind of seems like waste of damage there. So I'm in a position I know. I'm losing to the combo. I'm probably winning if I don't get comboed. Some brutal stuff. That card is sweet. Can I do anything smart? I can go Saga. Then I can go cast blue, something, something, something. Oh, let's not do that. Let's do it like that. That's better, right? And then 1 more. Yeah. So Cannoneer enters. I'm holding up the Otawara. Not really sure what that's supposed to do here. Let's see. I think I just lose if my opponent has to shuffle it. Yeah, at some point, I think I kind of mistakenly thought that this spell bomb was saving me from getting comboed. But the thing is, my opponent plays Cephalid, Illusionist. They equip. If I bounce in response, they can just keep equipping. And if they go down to an empty deck and Dread returns Oracle, I'm just dead. So that card didn't do anything for a long time. Okay, we managed to escape this game. My opponent tried to play the fair game after sideboard, I would say, with like Stoneforge, Ultra Complete, True Name Nemesis, Plows, Endings. I kind of lost track here at some point, but we managed to get the win, I would guess, partially because of Chalice of the Void. And of course, you know, drawing, was it 3 Ursa Sagas or just 2? I guess, yeah, drawing 3 Ursa Sagas didn't exactly hurt our chances. Okay, that was round 1, guys. See you guys for round 2 with more 8-cast action. Okay, round 2. After a chaotic round 1, I would say. I kind of had a tough time there. We're on the play here. So let's see. What can this hand do? This hand can go, like, turn 1 Ursa Saga. Turn 2, I can activate, but not much else. I mean, I'm sure this hand is a keep. Maybe I'm supposed to go all in on Emery turn 1, actually. Okay, I'll go turn 1 Emery. I think it's a reasonable play, because if I don't, then what am I really gaining? Then this pedal turns into a creature, like from Saga. I don't think that's ideal either. So if I can hit, I mean, even just replaying the pedal, to be honest, will be fine. Let's see. Yeah, this hand is definitely not the best. It has a lot of good cards in it. Like, it looks like it's good, like, on the surface. But once you kind of scratch the surface, this is not the best hand. Lotus Petal. Play Emery. I hope Emery doesn't get killed. That's really the name of the game here. I hit a Needle and a Chalice. Not quite sure about those. The hand like this is basically like, you should see this card as Dark Confidant. So like, the more turns you have with it, the more advantage you accumulate, but tough to say. Okay, turn 1 Ignoble Hierarch. So my Emery at least lives through the turn. Let's see if we can draw a great one here. I didn't draw a great one, but I did draw like a reasonable card. So if I go and replay Lotus Petal, I can activate. I don't even know if that's like, if that's a great one. Maybe I'm supposed to go like Patchwork, play Petal. I like that. Patchwork, Lotus Petal, grow the Patchwork. I don't think I'm supposed to play Shadow Spear out here. I'm not that desperate. I'm kind of trying to dig into the mid game here and have like stable mana. Let's see how much mana I have next turn. Let's say I go activate for a token. I search up Opal. Okay, my opponent's really playing a lot of 1/1s here. Cradle is going to be good with these guys. There's a Cradle, so 3 mana Cradle. Notably, Chalice for 1 wouldn't have helped because of Allosaurus Shepherd. Green cards. Okay. The opponent goes pitch Endurance. This is going to be a beautiful play. Now watch this, guys. The opponent pitches for Endurance to first, well, get rid of my Yard. That's one thing. But before the Evoke trigger, tap the Cradle for 4 mana. And yeah, I guess I know what's coming here. Very, very awesome play. That's just, yeah, that's just great utility. Like, Endurance. Oh, I thought I was getting natural ordered. Well, I guess this works as well. So now, because I only play one island, no search. Okay, so the opponent had quite different plans here, but I think that's going to work out just fine for them. Like, the fact that I didn't have an island to search up there was brutal. Huh. Fiend Artisan. That card can definitely do it to me quickly because the opponent has a lot of mana here. Great play by the opponent. Or Ginger. Huh. Play out second Saga. Then I can go Sir Ginger. Then I can go blue. Okay, so I can scry my way. I don't think that's going to do it. Play artifact. Play artifact. Attack for 5. How many artifacts do I have? I have 4 artifacts. Yeah, this is not the best. Fiend Artisan is gonna be tough. That deck plays... First of all, it plays Collector Oof in the main deck. Second of all, my opponent has a ton of mana here. My opponent has access to 8 mana, so my opponent can Fiend Artisan for a 7-drop, and that's Atraxa. So let's see if they go for Atraxa. That would be a good one. Getting rid of Ignoble Hierarch. That card has kind of done its job. Turn 3 Atraxa. Seems fair. Let's see. Oh, even Snuff Out? Yeah, this is beautiful. Like, tap out for Atraxa, still find interaction. That's sick. That's very sick. Opponent is looking to attack here. Am I blocking? If I block and I sacrifice the pedal, my creature lives. Okay, I'll try that. Block. I'm still getting snuffed out here. Terrible, terrible situation. Force a Will. Yeah, little bit late, and also doesn't do anything. So I get to eat my opponent's Shepherd, but I'm gonna lose my Emery here. Kinda need like a 0-drop artifact. That's not a 0-drop artifact. Yeah, now I can't attack. Now I'm getting attacked. Yeah, this game is done. Let's go to game 2. Yeah, that was too much. The opponent just made it rain on me there. That was brutality. So these cards are awesome against the deck. I'm not sure I like Force of Wills because that's like the rock deck, like Junt deck. Let's see, Ether Spellbomb. So in case my opponent does get a Traxa in play, they already drew a bunch of cards, but I have a way to kind of get rid of it. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I just cut Sir Ginger here and try again. I'm bringing in Cage because it stops Zenith, it stops Natural Order, it stops Fiend Artisan, so I like that for sure. This is actually an interesting matchup. Another matchup where Dismember is just great. Chalice is very so-and-so, but I think on the play it can do damage, at least. Yeah, I guess my hand was a bit awkward with kind of all in on Emery, but the thing is, I wasn't like all in on Emery, and if it sticks, I'm winning. I was all in on Emery, and if it sticks, I'm in the game. And of course, the opponent had what I would imagine is like some of the best draws, like turn 2, You have a million mana. Turn 3, you get Atraxa. Like, that's just what's going to happen, right? That's the upside of that deck, so to speak. Okay. This hand is definitely something I can work with. If I play... Yeah, I'm supposed to play turn 1 Emery, and I have to note here, Cage shuts down Emery, which is something I didn't think about until now, so let's keep an eye out for that. I could expect my opponent to have, like, maybe one more Oof, maybe a couple of Force of Vigors, maybe one more Beseiju, like stuff like that, which is super annoying, but it's what you have to fight through when you're playing 8-cast. I love this artwork, by the way, on Emery. It's just pretty awesome. Like, this is some kind of sea or like water muse type thing, and then she's like forging weapons under there, which is just awesome lore when it, like, the deck, when it comes to the card, like what it actually does in the deck. Like, it's putting artifacts like underwater, and then she goes and finds them, maybe stuff like that. Like, he dives down and finds like awesome swords and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. So let's go Emery. I mill over some good cards here. So this is like the territory where the opponent will kill Emery if they have the chance to do so. Once Upon a Time resolves. So even though if my opponent has the Snuff Out or not, they'll play the Once Upon a Time first. They find a fetch. Fetch Bayou. Cast Hierarch. And no Snuff Out. Okay. So let's see. I think I'm building for Thought Monitor, so I'm not going to bobble yet, but it was definitely tempting. Ancient Tomb is a decent draw. So what if I get back Petal and I play Tomb? Then then I can play Thought Monitor. I think I'm supposed to do that. Can I do it with Bobble? Let's see. If I play Tomb, I have 3 actual mana, so I need 4 artifacts. I don't have that. So I need to do the Petal. Okay, Thought Monitor, draw 2. These are good. Is this the time where I go... No, probably not, because I have a Thoughtcast. It's always, like, when to crack your baubles. Also because I'm playing against Bowmasters and stuff. It's not nothing to think about that. I think that's definitely where you can gain and win some percentages. Most of my experience comes from playing against 8-cast. So right now I'm just, trying my best to stay relevant. Okay. Opponent develops some creatures. I have a feeling I need that Grafdigger's Cage. What am I even gonna dismember? Yeah, let's see what we draw here. Chalice of the Void. That's a great one. Question is if it's good enough to prioritize this turn. I can go Emery, target Patchwork. No, I don't want to do that. I can go Emery, target Bauble, then play a 1-mana Thoughtcast and take it from there. Or maybe it's supposed to be Petal. Maybe I want all the mana in the world. Okay, let's try and replay the Petal. Thoughtcast. Into another Thoughtcast. Classic. Maybe I go land Thoughtcast. Yeah, let's try and churn some cards here. Okay, so Bauble. Chalice for 1. No, maybe Cage, Chalice for 1. Maybe this is a reasonable time to go off the Emery plan because it's getting dangerous. Digger's Cage, Chalice of the Void for 1. And then I think it's time to cash in these boys. Even though my opponent could have Bowmasters here, but I think I have to do it. I dodged the Bowmasters, drew into some semi-relevant cards. Two mana. Once upon a time. Yeah, so my opponent cannot Zenith, Order, or activate Fiend Artisan. My opponent can't just jam 1-drops. So my opponent needs to find... The Sage is a good one. I was about to say, they need to find either Artifact Destruction or the Shepherd in order to like do meaningful stuff. Okay, so my opponent's plan is to activate Reclaimer. They fetch now because they play around Dismember. Like, they have tried this game before. Okay, they fetch now and play around even more stuff. Let's see what they go for. They go for Bajuka Bog. Okay, I mean, I'm not worried about that because I couldn't cast any cards from my yard anyway. So let's see here. It would be awesome if I can get like some more threats, like one more threat on the table. That is a cool draw. Am I supposed to go City of Traders, draw 3? We'll try to draw 3 cards. 1 mana floating. I can't spell bomb. I have a chalice. Let's attack. I will. Yeah, I don't even know why I stayed home with the Emery. Maybe I'm supposed to trade damage like aggressively here. I'm gonna try and draw the cards here on my opponent's turn. Dodging Bowmasters while I can. Saga and Mishra's Bauble. Those are great cards. It's a way to like grind out this game. The problem is my opponent now has access to, you know, killing Cage. And, you know, just going nuts. 6 mana. Seiju first, then Order. No second island still. And there's Natural Order. Yeah, that was a tough one. I don't think the matchup is bad per se, but this is a beating. But funnily enough, the Chalice for 1 makes it so that I can't bounce Atraxa, which is also pretty funny. The opponent found Force of Vigor. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Force of Vigor, Crater Hoof. They can just go for that, right? Let's see what they pick. Yep. Crater Hoof and Force of Vigor in hand. So now I need to double dismember Atraxa. Super, super tough. If my opponent gets in here, I think, yeah, I'm supposed to block here. I need to preserve my life total, which is super sad, but that's just the reality of the situation. Let's see if I get Vigored here. I don't think so. Well, the thing is I have a mana source here, so my opponent could theoretically do it on upkeep, but letting me wait seems like a better play. If I play Ursa Saga, I think I'm like baiting the Vigor in response. I think that's worth it. So even though I'm trying to bait my opponent into losing some flexibility here, but they just allowed that I could have 1 mana, which is annoying. Let's see. So I go Opal. I have 2 mana in the pool. I don't think I can use those for anything aside from just killing that Atraxa. My opponent has Craterhoof in hand, and I'm going to be super low on life total. I don't love it. Double Dismember on the Atraxa. Those two are killed in response. Monitor and Saga down. I play Emery. Am I supposed to Chalice for 2 here? I don't think so. Let's see what I hit here. No, especially not with the patchwork out there. So let's go. I know about the Craterhoof and Arbor and one unknown. Okay. Another Chalice for 1 I don't think is valuable. Let's just not do that. Pass, draw a card, and this is going to be a problem. Arbor, Craterhoof, 1 unknown. Let's see how much mana my opponent's working with. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 2 mana off. But next turn, yeah. Very tough. Very, 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 very tough. More lands that don't really help me. So, how many artifacts have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can go. I think I'm supposed to go Monitor from the yard. Not Monitor the target. Play Monitor. So now I can win this game if my opponent only draws spells. It's very, very unrealistic, I would say. Because just 1 land, my opponent can hardcast Craterhoof. Yeah, these cards are just bad. It's like lands and 1-drops. That's like my worst draws here. So let's just see if the opponent has to land. That deck, that's a tough deck to play against. I think the cage was a necessary evil to not just, lose on the spot to like natural order. But it definitely also hurt me. I need some kind of draw where I like keep up the pressure with either early automaton or I keep Emery going or I have like some spud removal stuff. Did my opponent just mess up there? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think my opponent messed up there. But they'll be fine in this game. Maybe my opponent's going for, yeah, I don't know. No more islands for me. My opponent's clearing the way here to get in for damage. I like that. And then the Hydra is how big? Perfect. That's 6 damage. Yeah, we got pretty owned here. My opponent just, they were just on top of this game from the get-go. I think there was like a few turns in the beginning where I feel like, okay, I have a shot this game. But it was uphill battle for a long time. My opponent got to Atraxa just too early twice, and that's just, yeah. That's pretty hard to beat. This deck needs to be the one doing broken things, right? Okay, that puts us as 1-1. Let's see if we can do better in the next one. All right, welcome to round 3. I missed the record button, so you guys missed the fact that I kept a semi-good hand on the draw. My opponent has to turn 1 Ponder. I'm most likely up against Sneak and Show or Delver, but I don't think that changes my play all that much. Hmm. The Island, not the best draw. Let's see if Emery is good. Best case, it gets forced. Second best case, it gets dazed. Worst case, it gets lightning bolted on the opponent's turn. I mill over double patchwork, which is not like amazing, but I do have a bobble here. I'm kind of staying a little bit flexible with the bobble right now. It's very possible it was better to cash it in, but not sure. Okay, I'll try playing the value game here of going. I'll play patchwork from the yard. So with the way this game is developing, I'm kind of scared my opponent's on Sneak and Show. Like, they don't seem to care about these bad creatures. But let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Draw another automaton. Maybe I go Island Chalice. Is that good? I'll try the Chalice. At this point, if my opponent's on Sneak and Show, I'm just in such a terrible spot that I would rather hope they're on some kind of bad draw with Delver or Control. They just let that resolve. Maybe I'm not supposed to get Bowmastered before attacking. Let's just check out a random card from the opponent's hand. Okay. I see you, opponent. I see you. So they have, most likely, Sneak Attack ready for next turn. Emrakul got revealed. Trying to build a big automaton. I think now it's time to cash in these baubles. Emrakul and Force of Will. Yeah. That's going to be very hard to beat if they have a way to cheat Emrakul and force back. Then it's like, I can only win the game if my opponent's hand is mono creatures and counters and lands. Draw 1. Draw 2. Draw 3. Not super exciting. So I expect my opponent to cast. They drew the card I saw on top of the deck, which was another Force of Will. So I just assume they play Sneak Attack here, and I can win. Even with the Ancient Tomb, so my opponent has activation. Yeah, that'll do it. Sneak Attack Emrakul, very tough to beat. What can we do against that deck? I like all of these cards, which is kind of scary because that means I have to cut cards that's like part of the engine, so to speak. Maybe I just don't. Maybe it's the aggro cards. No, that can't really be true, can it? Let's see. I bring in all of these. Flusters, Hydros, Negations. I want the chalices for my opponent's cantrips. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to cut these, and then one more card. Needle can hit Sneak Attack. Spellbomb could be a good one. Spellbomb is basically only good against Show and Tell Emrakul. And I'm not planning to let that card resolve. Okay, I'll try this. So now I'm basically trying to hide behind Disruption and kind of give up my aggressive angle. I'm not sure if that's because I also think you have to be closing the game when you play against that deck. Yeah, let's see. It's kind of cool. We've played against Breakfast, scary deck. Bad things can happen. We've played against the black-green Cradle Control. That's more of like a steady, solid deck, I would say, that's kind of tough to break apart. And now against Sneak and Show, which is pretty similar to Breakfast in the sense that bad things can happen out of nowhere. The exception, I guess, is Sneak Attack doesn't have like a good plan B. It doesn't have like Versus Saga, Stoneforge Mystic for Caldra Complete, Tune Nemesis, stuff like that. But I think Sneak Attack is also a deck where I can expect to face like Magus of the Moon, a little bit of a Braid, a little bit of a Seiju, stuff like that. And I'm not too fond of that, to be honest. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't keep this hand, but it has a lot of the tools that I would want to see in an opening hand. Okay. This hand is cool. I'll get rid of the Chalice with the intention of playing out another Chalice. I'm pretty sure. So let's see. I can go turn... Yeah, I think I'm supposed to go turn 1, Petal, Saga. Wait a minute here. If I go Petal, Saga, Chalice for 1, I get forced. I have this for show and tell for later. That's fine, right? What if I go City of Traders, play Chalice, my opponent forces, I have the option to force Cluster back. But then next turn when I play Saga, City of Traders will die. I think that's too bad. Kill off my own mana base. I think if this is the colorless Hymn to Torok, I'll take it. Chalice for 1. Gonna play out the Opal. Not really sure what the up or downside is to that. Chalice for 1 resolves, so hopefully that buys me some time. And then my plan is just to make a couple of constructs and try and beat my opponent while they're kind of stumbling. Hopefully the Opal is my blue source for this game. Okay. So maybe I'm supposed to do that instead. Just go Seed of the Synod. What if my opponent goes... No, I can't do that. If my opponent goes Ancient Tomb, activate. Ancient Tomb, show and tell, rather. Then I have to be able to activate a response in Fluster. The thing about Fluster is it doesn't answer Sneak Attack, so... That is very sad. Also, the opponent can't really go Show and Tell Emrakul here and risk that I have a Spell Bomb in the deck. Which I don't. Don't melt down me, bro. Okay, double island. Is this, wow. Ugh, that is crushing. Magus of the Moon. Kills off the Saga. Maybe it's not that bad. I think my Seed of the Synod still has the artifact subtype. Yeah. And I have the blue mana on Mox Opal, so not the end of the world, but still, yeah, kind of annoying. I guess I shouldn't complain. My opponent mulliganed, and they spent the Spirit Guide to cast Magus of the Moon. All their cantrips are dead. So maybe I'm in fine shape. So I lose to Sneak Attack Fatty. I lose to next turn 4th land Show and Tell because Flusterstorm, like the original, gets countered. And it's only a 4 spike. So yeah, pretty tough. So yeah, funnily enough, if my opponent has an Abrade here, I just up the storm count for Flusterstorm. Let's see if that comes to fruition. That would be kind of cool. We got to get in for 5. I guess I should have... I'll think about that for next turn. No, I should have done that now. Okay, that's kind of bad. Misclick here. Yeah, that's terrible. Chalice for 0. That's definitely not what I meant to do. Oh, that sucks. I was pretty sure I was pumping mana into that Chalice. I wanted to play another Chalice for 1. mainly to grow the construct, which I should have done pre-combat. No abrade from the opponent. Here's a sneak attack. And I'm dead next turn. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Opponent is looking to stay back. They correctly identify that. This is funny because now I can't cast the bubble. They correctly identify that the 2 damage from the mag is never going to matter. Yeah, now I can't play Urza's bauble. Oof, that's horrible. Do I play out the Emery? Does that have any value? No, I don't think so. That was just something. Yeah, not a mistake I usually make. Like, but some of these cards can be kind of tricky on Magic Online. I especially had a few situations during Cube season where it got to a point where some cards would act like differently than others when you're pouring mana into it. But yeah, let's see. My opponent did not have the creature, I guess. Another bauble, that's hilarious. So, good news is, the construct token is still lethal. My opponent has a chump block. So now I can play the Emery out. Oh, wow. Okay, so my opponent's hand is most likely counters, mana sources, well, 1-drops, I guess. Let's see if they thread the needle. They don't. Wow. That was the Chalice of Zero. That was just terrible. I could have drawn more cards and looked for like counter spells and stuff, but yeah, we emerge from that game. The Chalice obviously hurt my opponent a lot that game. Let's see. What about Chalice on the draw? So on the draw, it means my opponent gets to fire off the first cantrip, which is not ideal, but if I just play like Automaton, does that do anything? It does something if it's in combination with one of the 1-mana counters and one of the forces plus a blue card. Like if I play some creature and I have double counter backup, I kind of like my chances. So maybe I try and go a little bit aggro here. Can I fit the 4th Automaton, or is it just better to stick with the guns here? Maybe I can bring out the Seagate Restoration. I think 15 lands is okay for this setup. My mana is not getting disrupted. Well, Magus of the Moon, I guess. I think it's fine. Okay, game 3 versus Sneak and Show. My opponent's on a mulligan. I have a decent hand. I can get like Saga going. I have a Force. I can shut down Sneak Attack, so I only have to worry about Show and Tell. That's not that bad. I imagine my opponent opens on some kind of cantrip. I like my opponent is fetching Island here, which gives me huge Magus of the Moon vibes, and we don't have an answer for that card. The answer is, I guess, usually just to play around it, so to speak. Like when it's in play, then just deal with it basically without actually answering it. Let's see what the draw step yields us. Yields us Seed of the Synod. I don't hate that card. What if I go turn 1 Ursa Saga, play Needle on Sneak Attack? Then I can activate turn 2. I think that's great. Needle Sneak Attack. So I'm trying to now I'm making my opponent into a show and tell deck, I guess you can say. So let's see. I don't think I have to play out my artifacts. I think it's fine to play like this. I don't necessarily want to give my opponent the info that I'm activating Ursa Saga next turn. Opponent passes. 1-mana counter, please. I guess just Fluster. Thought Monitor is a cool one. Okay. So let's see. Mox Opal. Lotus Petal. And then do I hedge a little bit with the island? Hedging against the Brotherhood's End or whatever it's called? Maybe that's not a bad shout. So what I could have done here was make a token, cast Thoughtcast, but I think this is fine. Make a token, cast Thoughtcast. Is that better? That's actually a good question. My opponent with the Brainstorm, no fetch. Okay. Brainstorm, upkeep, fetch, which is technically correct in case you need to fight over something, then you already untap your mana. It's a good habit to have. I wonder if I was supposed to Thoughtcast there. Throwing away a pedal. Tough call. My opponent plays Magus of the Moon. I'm just going to do the same procedure as last game where I'm like, that's fine. The game is now about, like, this big creature and your life total and kind of a race to get there. So I'm fine with that. I can even cast, like, I can cast cards out of my hand here pretty easily. Let's see. If I really want to get the Monitor going. I think the Monitor is a 1 mana play here. Thought Monitor, draw 2. I don't find another blue card, so I don't think I can justify Thought Casting. But next turn, I'm pretty motivated to try and find lethal. Let's deal 7 here. Maybe that's just not realistic. I deal 7. Take a look at my opponent's hand. There's an Atraxa. I guess that doesn't tell us that much. If I was a little greedy, I cast that Thoughtcast, but I feel like 1 negation could be enough to put this game away. Now I have the ability to play out 2 artifacts on my next turn, making the construct an 8/8. So that's 10 damage in total. So ideally, I want to find 1 more artifact, force the chump block, and then take it from there. Brotherhood's End. Destroy all artifacts with mana value of 3 or less. My opponent has an Atraxa and 1 unknown in hand. So if I don't counter it, I'm left with 1 island, 1 Thought Monitor. I don't think I can do that. I force and negated, well knowing that I could lose to Show and Tell next turn. Okay, so now we're gonna see. Wow. Woohoo! Nice play, nice play. Okay, so my opponent's last card was Meltdown. Okay. So double artifact destructions, but I still have a creature in play. I can cast a Thoughtcast. Maybe it's not that bad. The opponent's considering whether attacking for 2 makes any sense. I'll take the damage if they do, so. So now I lose to Show and Tell and Sneak. Let's see. Petal. Opal. If I play that out, Thoughtcast is a 2-drop. If I play it out now, no, it's a 1-drop. Maybe I do like this because I actually want to draw. No, I don't want to draw Ursa Saga. That's not true. Okay, so let's do like this. Draw 2 cards. Emery and versus Bauble. Okay. So I'm definitely going to draw. Then I'm going to Emery. I'm going to see the Atraxa again. Emery. Then attack for 2. I have a Needle in the Yard. The cool thing is, if my opponent draws Sneak Attack, they would have to play it out and kind of give me that information. So I'm losing to Show and Tell, I think. Kappa Cannoneer is going to end the game soon. So Show and Tell is the big one here. And now the Show and Tell could be too late, actually. because of the Cannoneer. Let's see what else do we have in the yard. I'm going to draw a random card. I draw Opal. So let's see. How do we kind of shut down my opponent's outs here? I think it's Needle on Sneak Attack. I can't risk my opponent having either a Sneak Attack in hand or slow rolling a land, then finding the opposite part of that equation. So let's go. I want to replay Needle. Play Needle. Name Sneak Attack. Then tap for blue, play one more. Keep the untap. Play Tomb. Pay two more. Tap a Cannoneer. Attack for 2. Yeah, hope for the best. So if I get show and telled, my opponent gets to find a lot of cards, but I get to play an artifact from my yards. That's actually only 6 power unblockable. Okay. Yeah, so if my opponent actually goes show and tell, I need to draw an artifact, and I didn't. Then I can use Emery to replay 1 card from my yard, grow the Cannoneer to a 6/6. I can only take my opponent to 1, so I actually lose there if my opponent finds the show and tell, which is something to think about for sure. Okay, guys, that'll do it for today. I think 3 matches with this deck was sufficient. I feel like I narrowly escaped against 2 combo decks, and I just got dominated from start to finish by the mid-range deck that is the kind of the evolution of the Elves deck, the green-black one. But yeah, I like this deck a lot. I think I got Meltdown in the end, but I got Meltdown out of a combo deck where the game is not really about resources, you know, to the same extent as, let's say I'm playing against Delver, I'm getting clocked in the air, then I get Meltdown, then the game's just over. Here I was actually able to rebuild pretty nicely. I had a Thoughtcast in hand, and I chose to slow roll the Seed of the Synod, kind of playing a little bit around that scenario. I don't know if that gained me anything meaningful, but I think it's a good you know, it's a good thought to have against the hate cards. Yeah, but other than that, this deck looks like it's pretty well rounded. I can definitely recommend it if you like playing around with a bunch of small artifacts, gaining incremental value over turns with Emery, winning big with Cannoneer or Saga, and yeah, 8-cast is awesome. I didn't really get to out aggro a lot of people with the Automaton plan, but I actually think I like that plan a lot. Okay, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.